So the next one, deadly sin, is greed. So greed, simply put, is just the inordinate desire for, just say, riches, material goods, right? And I think the idea, the longing here is, I guess, is trust. Trust in that the work that you're doing has merit, right? And has purpose. When I don't believe that there's purpose there, what do I do? Well, I'm seeking the meaning behind it, and I'm going to keep acquiring and acquiring, hoping that I finally attain that meaning. But then I completely misread the identity and perspective of it to begin with, and I end up in this endless cycle of acquiring, and maybe at the end I'll be more worthwhile, right? Then my worth or my merit or my purpose will be revealed. Well, because first I invested in that duplex, and then I went to an apartment, and now I'm in commercial, and eventually, if I reach a certain state, then I'll be the work will pay off. Then I'll feel this satisfaction, right? It's that sense of like this never ending acquisition that the work that I do, I can't simply rest in, right? And it's the idea, and I think it's from original sin, in that we were drawn to work in cooperation with God. But what happens in pride, it becomes toil. And it's like that, the sweat of the brow, right? And we're feeling the grind. And then when we fall in love with the grind, then we think the grind is our answer. So I'm going to grind and grind and grind, and it becomes my God is the grind. So I'm going to acquire everything, right? And then it becomes, well, I have this car. Well, now I can be really smart, right? And then I can get 2 cars, and then I can get an electric car. And then you're justifying so much of just acquiring, right? And so I think the antidote is generosity. And I even think for myself, as a single income with a home, right? And seeing money in the right way, what better way to do that than to tithe?
Yeah.
Right? When we think of generosity, God is so good in the wisdom of the church, right? He knows that this is not yours. And it doesn't mean God is trying to punish you, but he knows that it's trusting, like in the parable, right? Like, the birds, do you think they worry that they won't get fed?
Yeah.
How much more does he care about you? He gave you a share in his divinity. And you think he doesn't care about whether or not you have, a comfortable home, or you have the means to provide for your children? Like, he doesn't care. It's this idea that we lack trust, right? And so I think the antidote to that is being generous in little ways, recognizing that this dollar bill isn't my worth, but it was a gift, and I can give that gift, and it rightly orders how I perceive the work that I do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of it goes back to, when Jesus was asked about, paying taxes to Caesar, right? Give to Caesar what is Caesar, give to God what is God. And I think it just to kind of highlight the greed pieces, when the possessions, the material wealth become an end in of itself, right? Because obviously money isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's what you do with it. Is it ordered appropriately? Mm-hmm. So I think we got plenty of examples of greediness out there for sure.
Yeah. The money situation, which I think obviously greed stems into other things, but as Americans, it's probably our biggest issue, because it's, morally irresponsible not to have multiple incomes or all this kind of stuff, the stuff that we've been fed for so long, and the financial freedom and all that kind of stuff. And I came up with this pretty cool quote once, that financial freedom is like not when you have enough, it's when you realize that like then money was never yours in the first place.
Yeah.
Because that's just a journey I've been on. And same thing with Keone, when I had this idea of here's how much debt we're gonna have, and I eventually, once we have kids, we'll be a single income thing. But I really want to do ministry, and it's so easy to just get caught up in all these things. And we've all talked about this, but you just lose opportunity for faith. If you had everything figured out, you wouldn't need faith, which is why all of Hollywood doesn't need it, and they drink baby's blood and stay young forever. You know what I mean? So it's like, in those moments, it's just an opportunity to be fully dependent. And then I'll just say this. One last thing too, for people who are really interested in this sort of money topic and how to have a sort of better relationship with it. And I think what does the church really say, or what does Thomas Aquinas say? I really encourage everybody to check out New Polity, because they have completely changed the way I probably view all of my life. And I think it'd just be beneficial for every Catholic to sort of understand what the Catholic Church actually says about money. How should we use it? And then the way that we can, uphold each other as a community, as opposed to, you know what I mean? Just stacking up your 401k or all this other stuff. That's just like, oh man, it kind of gets annoying. You know what I mean?
Well, we're in this individualistic, you know,
Yeah.
where we're just all about our own. So